Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
Traffic is back up and flowing after a major crash on Interstate 29 clogged two major roads just minutes ago in Fargo. This is video our station tower caught of the traffic backed up on I-94 going south. That's the 25th Street exit that was also backed up, as you can see through that fog. And here is video of what appears to be the reason for the backup. This was on I-29 right under the 94 interchange. It was slow going for drivers on Interstate 94 as well, as they were dealing with the effects of this crash. Two lanes of traffic started moving again around 4:15. The cause of the crash is unknown at this time, along with if there was any injuries. You can stay with us here on Valley News Live for the latest. It's been a soggy day and the rain seems to be pushing out of some areas, but is still lingering in other spots. Let's find out what we can expect this evening with Nathan Hopper in your No Wait weather. Nathan, I'm guessing there's no chance of sunshine, but I want sunshine.
Yeah, there's no chance of sunshine tonight, Melanie. Unfortunately, I think these clouds will stick around until the sun sets and then even into the overnight hours as well. But along with these clouds, and we've had kind of a misty experience here across the Dakotas and Minnesota. You can see visibilities in some locations down to 3/4 of a mile there in Cooperstown, 1 mile visibility in Grand Forks, 3 mile visibility in Fargo, and 2 mile visibility right now in Detroit Lakes, 1/2 mile visibility in Oaks. You can see this large body of low pressure spinning counterclockwise there, with even some more intense storms down toward the Twin Cities and into Iowa. But we're kind of toward, I guess you could say, the center of this system, with the heaviest of that rainfall being near Cando and Devil's Lake. But we will talk more, of course, about how long this sticks around, how much more rain we can get, and what the weekend looks like, which, Melanie, is that sunshine you've been asking for. I'll have that coming up in a couple minutes.
Good. That's exactly what we want to hear. Thank you, Nathan.
You bet.
And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. A West Fargo child care is forced to close its doors after Human Services cited multiple concerns in a report first sent to us by a whistleblower. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz speaks to parents who say they saw red flags, as well as the owner and parent who say the claims are unfair.
To find people who care like you do, it's very hard. People are young. They don't know the meaning of caring for kids.
Tiffany Bashaw has provided childcare for more than 20 years. But a recent Human Services report revoking Tiny Town Child Care's license cites multiple concerns, many involving inappropriate discipline, and visits from Cass County Social Services, ultimately finding the daycare to be short-staffed.
Everybody's short-staffed. Everybody needs help in every aspect, everywhere. It's very hard to find people when you have to do fingerprint checks. Right now, it's about 6 weeks out to get their fingerprints back.
Bashaw says the report is inaccurate. One example she gives on June 28th, saying Bashaw spoke disrespectfully to staff. Bashaw showed us the initial report from that day, written by the visiting worker.
In there it says that I was barking orders, but when you read it, it says absolutely nothing about barking.
She showed us this message, Bashaw asking the worker if she wrote that she was disrespectful. The worker writing back, no.
They play with the kids. She's happy to come. They take care of, ultimately they take care of her how I would at home.
Jennifer Cope says she's become friends with Bashaw after trusting her with her daughter for more than a year. Another parent, Jacinta David, says her son was happy at the daycare for the first few months when Bashaw ran it from home. But once she transitioned to a center, David pulled her son out.
On June 17th, she contacted the social services department and said she was losing control. That was really exactly how I had felt about her moving from her home daycare to a child care center, was that she was losing control. She didn't have enough staff, she didn't have enough help, she just wasn't prepared for what that was going to entail.
We have to charge lower rates, pay for the food, pay for everything else so that people can afford things and make it a fun, loving environment at the same time.
Bashaw says out of 70 children her daycare watched over, 40 of them are still waiting to return to Tiny Town. In West Fargo, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
Pashaw says she plans to appeal the decision. In the meantime, she's handing over management to another supervisor, and she plans to work at the daycare as soon as it's reopened. There's no set date for that at this time. And as mentioned, this story came to us through our whistleblower hotline. If you need help with issues in your community, call our whistleblower hotline at 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. A search effort in rural Cass Lake has turned up human remains. According to a release from the Leech Lake Tribal Police Department, officials uncovered the remains during a search in an ongoing investigation in Cass County, Minnesota. An autopsy has been scheduled to learn more about the cause of death. We won't know more until the identity of the person is released. A judge is allowing the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe to intervene in the expansion of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Judge Tim Dawson of the Public Service Commission approved it this morning. The tribe will now be able to cross-examine the company running the pipeline, Energy Transfer, and call witnesses in the hearing for proposed expansion on November 13th. Energy Transfer wants to double the capacity of the pipeline, allowing the transfer of 1.1 million barrels of oil per day. The U.S. Supreme Court gave the Trump administration permission last night to enforce its toughest restriction yet on asylum seekers at the southern border. The justice's late order means migrants coming from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador cannot seek asylum if they did not first do so in Mexico. It would also apply to many other asylum seekers who come to the U.S. southern border from other countries. Today's order temporarily undoes a lower court ruling that had blocked the new asylum policy in states along the southern border. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg disputed the decision, saying the court acted too quickly and should allow the case to work its way through the normal judicial process. Meanwhile, in her weekly briefing, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was empathetic that money should not be diverted to fund the Trump administration's border wall. She reinforced the three-step plan for possible impeachment and called the North Carolina 9th District race a victory for Democrats in the upcoming presidential election.
We're legislating. Do you want me to go over our 200 days of legislation leading up to now and even what we did this week to protect our environment? We are legislating. We're investigating, as 6 committees have been doing, 4 months. 6 committees have been working 4 months. And third, we are litigating.
Speaker Pelosi promised a Senate vote in the coming weeks to overturn the emergency declaration being used by the Trump administration to divert funding to the border wall. The Greater Mankato area growth brought special guests to South Central College in Minnesota for a presentation on hiring immigrants and refugees. Officials say 2 business owners welcomed immigrants into their workplace. The trial attorney Jasmine Lott from the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division shared successful tools for employees, training, hiring, and onboarding refugees and immigrants.
Our communities around the country are growing, and the refugee and immigrant community are a big part of it. And I think the more we embrace it as an opportunity, more embrace people who are different as an opportunity to grow as a community.
Officials say there is a key point of emphasis following the hiring of protected non-citizens who are authorized to work in the U.S. Cass County Weed Control is spraying for noxious weeds in the county, state, and township road rights of way. That includes leafy spurge and Canada thistle, among others. They'll be spraying into fall, and they're asking you to watch out for equipment working on the shoulders and the ditches. Any landowner who wants to mow their ditches should wait several days after the spray crews have gone through to allow the herbicide to affect the weeds. Don't forget to tune in to the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show that will begin at 11 Saturday morning. The pregame show will be followed by North Dakota State University taking on the Delaware Fightin' Blue Hens at Delaware Stadium at noon. You will be able to watch the game on KVLY, GoBison.com, Hulu Live, YouTube Live, Fubo TV, and Sony OTT.